So you want to know how to pass the CompTIA Security Plus certification. Well, you're in the right place because that's exactly what we're going through in this video. If you need to know more about the Security Plus certification, click the banner above to watch that first before we dive into the tips. If you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a like down below so I know to keep creating them. Right, so what we'll be discussing? Well, we'll first be looking at the exam outline and understanding why having knowledge of that is very important to pass. We'll then look at revision and what you can be doing to ensure you get the top marks, and then we'll finally go on to the topic of mock tests and where you can find them and why you need to be doing them and at what points you should be looking at doing them. If you have any questions following this, do join my Discord. The link will be in the comment section where you can ask all sorts of questions. Right, so let's first look at the exam outline and why this is important. Well, there are 5 different domains involved with the Security Plus exam. We have threats and vulnerabilities, risk management and mitigation, threat detection and management, network security, and finally application and host security. And it's crucial to know these for several reasons, because if this is the first time that you're seeing these domains and you're planning on sitting this exam, then you're probably making that face right now. But let's discuss why it's important to understand the outline. Firstly, we'd like to look at time management. So exams often have time constraints, and understanding the outline will help you allocate your time appropriately for each section or topic. Because then that just means you can allocate more time to areas where you feel you're more weak, or allocate less time to areas where you feel that you're already strong because you've got some experience. So let's take an example of network security. If you've had previous work experience, or you've just done a lot of revision in that section already, you know to spend less time on that during your revision times. Whereas if it's an area where you have little to no experience, you'll know that when you're doing your revision, you can allocate a lot more time to it compared to the other domains where you're a lot stronger. And then also when it comes to the exam, you're more well informed on the topics that you do know, and you can spend longer on those questions. Then the second point that we have here is to identify knowledge gaps. So this really does link to time management as well, because by having allocated specific time to specific tasks, you'll have identified those knowledge gaps. So as I just said, if you know you're weak in a specific section, you'll know to revise that a lot more and to put a lot more focus on that compared to other areas. So that pretty much covers the exam outline. Let's look at revision. So revision works different for everyone, and there's 2 main methods. And it just really depends on how you work best, whether that be reading or watching videos. And when it comes to reading, usually the best practice that I see is people buying official study guides off Amazon, which I'll link a few good ones down in the description below. And people tend to print them off and just annotate and go through and highlight. And if that works for you, that's exactly what you need to do. Whereas if that doesn't sound like your bucket of fun, then the best place is probably to go to YouTube and start watching some of the videos, because there's lots of great Security Plus content out there. I will again link that in the description below. A really good known YouTuber for this in the cybersecurity space is Professor Messer, and he's been doing this for many years now, and obviously he's had lots of great feedback in terms of how he's helped them pass these exams because of the content he provides on there. So I would definitely recommend checking that out, even if you are more of a reader. It's good just to be aware and see if you might like it. That summarizes that topic, so let's now look at the final one of mock tests. My biggest tip here that I always recommend is to book your Security Plus exam in advance so that you can plan your mock tests accordingly. By doing that, you'll know exactly when your deadline is and what you need to do to prepare in advance. So as an example, if you know you've booked your test for in a month's time, you'll want to be doing a mock test about 2 weeks before that, just to gauge where you're at. And you can do official practice tests, which again I'll link in the description. There's some really good ones on Amazon. However, if you do want some free ones, there is a lot of content there online which you can just go and do a few questions here and there. But if you know that this is something you've not really done before and you're just entering this space for the first time, it's probably best to do one of the official practice ones. And like I said before, do that at least 2 weeks before your test, just so if you do score really low, you know what you need to practice well in advance. You don't want to be panicking the night before where you achieved a low score on that practice test and you have your exam in the morning. That then officially covers all the tips that I have for you on the Security Plus exam. If you did enjoy the video or you have any more questions, please do click my Discord link in the description. It leads you to our cybersecurity channel where we talk about all things cyber, and you can ask all the questions that you like. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know this was very different to all the rest that I've done. So if you did enjoy this and you want me to keep making videos exactly in this format, please do leave a like. It massively helps me out and it tells me that you're enjoying this type of content.